guest as legendary EastEnders character Janine Butcher, but Charlie Brooks has once again said goodbye to Albert Square.
She's back on the stage to bring one of my favourite books, actually, to life, The Ocean at the End of the Lane, and she joins us now to tell us more. My daughter, Molly's, one of her favourite books as well.
Yeah.
We love Neil Gaiman's stuff, and so I went to see it when it opened up, and I absolutely loved it. You're now doing the touring version, which is supposed to be even bigger and better.
Yes.
And it came at just the perfect time, didn't it?
I mean, the timing couldn't have been more perfect. The call came in from the National Theatre, who I've dreamed of working with, so it could have been anything, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I wasn't familiar with the book or the play, so I sort of read it and went, I love it, but I'm not sure I'm quite underneath it yet. And then when I got into rehearsals, I was still filming EastEnders when they started, but got into the rehearsal room and saw this thing come alive. And it's one of those pieces of work that just gets richer and richer the more and more that I do it.
Well, it's mystical and it's magical, and even being in it and knowing what's coming, you've stood in the wings and it's brought you to tears.
For a whole week, me and Giuseppe, who did the amazing wigs, would just cry because each line will resonate in a different way or mean something different, or I'll hear something new.
Yeah.
There's so many different possibilities of what it could mean to you. I think you can really... It's such a personal experience of a piece of theatre that it just moves me in sort of a different way every time.
Also, it's, as Holly says, magical. The effects in it are...
The illusions are amazing. Also something that I just couldn't have ever foreseen on the page.
Yeah.
They're just, you know, they're amazing. I've got a wonderful sequence that was terrifying to begin with and took me a little while to nail. But it's like, I compare it to Stranger Things on stage.
Wow, I mean, that sounds pretty
Explain your
Yeah.
character.
Yeah, she's Ursula, isn't she?
Yes, Ursula Monckton. She comes in as a nanny and lodger to help with the kids, and she may or may not be a sort of alien in disguise, but she really comes and she doesn't do anything wrong. She wants to make everybody happy. She just wants to make everybody happy.
But is she what she seems?
Is she what she seems? Or, you know, the whole story is really about a young boy who is going through some trauma. So a man is at his dad's funeral and he's catapulted back to his childhood, and the story is told through his eyes, and it's his journey of self-discovery and what he went through, and is it fantasy, is it not? Did he experience these things? Do you like to believe in the magic? And his friendship with this ever young girl called Letty. And it's ultimately, it can be a little bit scary at times, but it's like a journey of healing, really, and self-discovery, being brave and sort of, you know, battling through
all the important things, actually.
It's amazing.
Well, that's the tour. I mean, it's a long tour. I think UK and Ireland up until September. You're back tonight, aren't you? I think you're in Woking.
So we're in Woking. We open in Woking tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
And then we go to Leicester for 2 weeks. We're at Woking till Saturday, Leicester. Then we're in Sunderland, Newcastle, Dublin.
Everywhere.
I've never done a show for this long before, ever. So it's really exciting.
And did you meet Neil Gaiman? Because, I mean,
Yes.
this is a man that's written Stardust and American Gods and so many amazing things. When we went to see the play, and it wasn't opening night or anything, we went to see the play, and he was sitting there.
Oh, really?
And we walked out, and he was by the side of us, and I said to Molly, oh, my God, I think that's Neil Gaiman, that's Neil Gaiman. And I was too scared to say anything.
Really?
So he's sent you flowers for the opening night?
Yeah, we've got some lovely notes from him of support. I think he was really amazed at what Katie Rudd did and all the creatives who are just amazing, and the cast. I can't wait. We've had 2 weeks off, so I'm a bit like, oh, we're going back on stage tomorrow night.
All back together again. Yeah, and you're going back on stage. Has everyone forgiven you for Christmas yet? Because obviously, leaving EastEnders, I mean, you drove Mick off the side of the cliff. I mean, what a way to exit.
I know. No, I'm still getting messages of hate, actually, about that, about breaking up Mick and Linda. But I was so honoured to be part of that storyline, to work with those two. I love Danny and Kelly so much, and we've really, you know, we really had a fantastic 18 months. I loved my time there. And I was so, you know, I was just honoured to be part of that massive storyline at Christmas and to see Danny Dyer out the door.
I know.
Well, it's lovely because you can drift backwards and forwards. You can, you know, go back.
Pop in and out whenever I fancy. Well, not whenever I fancy it. Such
She does do sort of ultimate mic drop whenever she leaves that show.
Well, she's so high drama. I don't know how you'd keep a character like that in the show without diluting them slightly.
Yeah.
So I think she can be quite a useful tool to come in and, you know, cause some explosions.
She's the grenade.
Again.
Well, we were reading the brief this morning, the pair of us, in our individual dressing rooms and going through everything and obviously, you know, about the play and EastEnders, and then you come down to the bottom of the brief and go, oh, my God. Well, I had absolutely no idea. You have a business.
Yes.
Do tell us about your business.
OK, so I'll tell you a little bit of the backstory first. I was
Yes.
sort of approaching my 40th birthday and I felt like my life was standing still. As an actress, you can spend quite a lot of time uninspired, so I got a business coach and I gave up booze, I made a lot of changes in my life and started to do a bit of work on myself and started to have ideas, like creativity was starting to flow out of me. And I remembered having a conversation with somebody about 7 or 8 years ago about the shape of the clitoris, which I didn't know is in the shape of a wishbone. Mm-hmm. So that must have stuck with me on some level. And I was sort of like, well, how have we never had this, for me anyway, that education at school? Then I woke up in the middle of the night about 4 years ago and went, oh, why isn't there a vibrator that surrounds the clitoris? It surrounds the vulva, it doesn't penetrate. You know,
You weren't expecting this, were you?
Sorry.
Don't say sorry.
Don't say sorry. Don't say sorry.
You mustn't say sorry.
No,
Because I know that
no.
you were saying actually part of all of this is sometimes saying this out loud for the first time on
Yes.
TV, like you're a bit embarrassed. It's, weirdly, and women shouldn't feel like this, there is a little bit of shame there, and it's like, that needs to
But
stop.
that's
And
the
this is part of the whole point of doing this.
That's part of the conversation.
Yeah.
It's been a really interesting journey for me because of exactly those reasons, the fear that I've felt doing it. I've had so much self-doubt and uncertainty in my life and not felt good enough at times, and I'm a confident girl, and you can be those two things, I think, at the same time, you know. Uncomfortable in my own body for one reason or another. And so I just had this idea and I was like, oh, there must be something like this on the market. Research, and there was nothing.
So essentially, the vibrators in general have been created without female anatomy in mind.
Yes, well, there wasn't a study on the clitoris until about 1998, properly. And a lot of them are made by men. So, so I went on this journey. I ordered some clay. I started making it around my kitchen table. I spoke to friends. I spoke to all my friends. I was like, it's going to be in the shape of the U, and it's going to surround the vulva, and it's going to be called the U. And they were like, you should do it. You should do it. And so surrounding myself with, you know, inspiring women in my life that sort of have been cheerleading